What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and we're back for another episode. Today's episode is going to be about Cyle Larin's future and where I potentially see him going once the season comes to an end. A lot of Turkish media outlets has linked him to a lot of different clubs. The most recent one was to Fiorentina. There's zero credibility around it, but it is an interesting rumor, which got me thinking, and now I'm going to come up with 5 different clubs where I could see Cyle Larin going, giving some pros and cons behind it, and looking for your guys' opinion in the comment section. So if you guys are excited for this episode, be sure to drop a like, drop a sub, and let's get into it now. Alright guys, so number 5 on the list of clubs that I think Cyle Larin should sign for is actually going to be Fiorentina. There's a lot of pros and a lot of cons behind this move. Some of the biggest pros is the fact that it's Fiorentina. This is a big club in a big top 5 league. I would love to see what Cyle Larin could do over in Italy. Fiorentina's play some really attractive football, and with those beautiful kits, I'd be going out there immediately and buying one of those nice purple kits with Cyle Larin on the back, 100%. However, they do have 2 strikers that are both relatively in form. They have Piontek, who's on loan from Hertha Berlin. He's really hit the ground running. He's looking very comfortable in Serie A. There's an option to buy there, and there's also Arthur Cabral, which is a player that lit up in Switzerland with Liam Miller, got the move over to Fiorentina. So he's battling with 2 other striker positions. They play the 4-3-3 system, so unless they don't sign Piontek, maybe Larin could come in there on a free agent and then just try to fight with Cabral for the starting spot. He can also play on the wings, as we've seen in Besiktas, even though that's not where I ideally see him going. And with the fact that the World Cup's coming up, minutes are important. It's one of those things. I don't think this is a perfect fit for game time, although I'd love to see what he could do, fight for a starting position, and maybe find some success. I just think it's a little too big of a risk because I don't think the reward of playing enough is going to be there. But again, I don't know if you could turn down a move like that if Fiorentina comes knocking. Number 4 on my list is going to be West Ham, and West Ham has been a club that has been linked with Cyle Larin for a long time, and it makes a lot of sense. They play in the 4-2-3-1 system, which means Cyle Larin can play it, again, over in the left attacking mid position or as a striker. I'd prefer him as a striker as opposed to the left attacking mid, but to know that at least there's game time available to him in both those positions make it a little bit more appealing. West Ham's a big club in the Premier League. I think this would be one that would really interest Cyle Larin. They're already in the Europa League semifinals, so there's a lot of success going around West Ham right now. And the one key area is, yes, Antonio is there. He's a starting striker, and I don't imagine Cyle Larin would be able to take that position for him. However, there's no real backup striker. And if the fact that Cyle Larin can play, as like I said, in the left attacking mid and as a striker role, could give him a decent chunk of minutes. If Antonio can't find a way to be consistent, maybe Larin's able to take that. It's not ideal when it comes to game time. I think he's going to have to really fight and find his way into that starting 11 if he's able to, but there's definitely a role there for him, especially even if it is a backup striker playing at the Premier League level, having cup games, maybe Europa League or Champions League if West Ham's able to win the Europa League. It's a very interesting move, and just the fact that there's not a lot of striker depth makes me curious to see if Cyle Larin would be interested in it. But again, for me, just simply the fact that game time needs to be important. But again, when it comes to one of the best leagues in the world, if not the best league in the world, in the Premier League, comes knocking for you, and a team like West Ham is on a real high, it's hard to say no to, and Cyle Larin might back himself to try to go for a starting spot. Number 3 on my list, guys, is going to be Hertha Berlin, and this is an interesting one. I wanted to pick a Bundesliga club because I think the Bundesliga really is an opportunity for not only Canadians, but we've seen Americans doing it there for a long time, finding a lot of success. I want to see more Canadians take that jump to the Bundesliga because I really think it's a league that could go for free-flowing football and could find a real home for Cyle Larin. But it was difficult because, again, the first 2 options were kind of the pedigree about the club, a pedigree about the league. The Bundesliga is a great league, so it's a huge checkmark for Cyle Larin. Hertha Berlin is in a bit of a battle. But if you're looking at a free agent, Hertha Berlin is a bit of a sleeping giant. They need to find a way to get back to what they can be, at least push for the top half of the table. They're in a real relegation battle, and this is an only transfer if they can survive relegation. If they get relegated, they're not an option. But if they do, and if they avoid relegation, they stay in the Bundesliga, this is a club that is probably going to be able to invest, try to get some more players, and they see a player like Cyle Larin available on a free, knowing the fact that their top goal scorer, Jovetic, only has 6 goals. It's not enough. They need goals. They need a goal scorer. They play the 4-2-3-1 as well. Cyle Larin can, again, play in that left attacking mid, but I prefer him as a striker. See what he can do up front. See if he can find that success, find the back of the net, and if they can find these type of goals, he can be playing at a competitive level in the Bundesliga for Hertha Berlin, an unbelievable giant team over in Germany, hopefully get them back to where they need to be, and get minutes. One of the most important things is minutes leading up to the World Cup, which is why I think the Hertha move, even though it's not as glamorous as a club right now than West Ham and Fiorentina, I think the opportunity that he nails down a starting spot, gets those ton of minutes, and finds some success is a little bit higher right now. All right, guys, number 2 on my list is Everton. This is an interesting one for me, kind of similar to Hertha Berlin, big club having a disastrous season. They're sitting in 17th place, and of course, this transfer is only realistic if they stay in the Premier League. But with the potential overhaul on this squad, with seeing maybe Calvert-Lewin get taken, maybe Richarlison more likely will leave, there's some positions there, and if the financial situation isn't quite perfect, maybe a free agent signing like Cyle Larin could be interesting. They play that 3-4-3, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 kind of system so far under Lampard. So that left-hand side is a possibility for Larin, as well as potentially a starting striker role, depending on who leaves the club this season. It does worry me a little bit depending on who's going to be there, what the game time will look like, but this could be, like I said, a real overhaul of personnel leaving this squad. Cyle Larin could find a home there, try to get this team a little bit further up the table, playing along the lines of maybe Dele Alli if he can find the best of his ability once again. It's an interesting move. I'm hoping that if he does make it, the time will be there, because game time for me is the most important part for him, but it's an interesting one. We'll have to wait and see what happens, and if Everton stay in the Premier League, if Cyle Larin might be interested in that type of move. All right, guys, this is number 1 on my list, and for me, it's not even close. It really isn't. This is where I want to see Cyle Larin go. It's not the most glamorous move you'll ever find, but to me, it seriously makes the most sense. I haven't seen a link about it, but Jonathan David moves on for Lille. Cyle Larin replaces him. It's simple. There's so many pros behind this. 1, it's a top 5 league. Liga, it's a step up from Turkey. Lille, yes, maybe they're not playing in the Europa League or any European football next year, but they can at least push for that next season. They play in the 4-4-2 system. That means that there's 2 striker positions available for Cyle Larin every match, and I think Larin would fit well there. Yilmaz potentially will probably move on as well, so they'll sign another striker in there, get Larin for free, another striker that could potentially go well with him up front. I think it's a match made in heaven right there. And also, the manager has shown that he will stick with you. Even Galtier showed it last year. Jonathan David had a very poor start to the season, stuck with him. He found the back of the net and got rewarded. This season, he came out of the gates super hot. Gorvinic has stuck with him basically all season long, a ton of minutes to Jonathan David, and David has gone on 2 long goalless streaks. He really has, and he still gets shown this kind of trust. So knowing that Cyle Larin can see that, he'll be given that opportunity to succeed, and even if he has a few bad games, knowing that, hey, you're going to have that opportunity to do it. It just, for me, it makes sense all over the board. I'd love to see Cyle Larin go there. Keeps that connection to Lille alive, and I really do think that they could compete next year. Game time will almost be guaranteed. I think you'll find the back of the net quite a bit, be able to rediscover that form, rediscover that confidence, and go into a World Cup. It just, for me, it absolutely makes sense, because as you guys know, man, it's a very weird season for Cyle Larin, man. He killed it last season, scoring 19 goals, one of the best players in Turkey. His Canadian national team record of the last year has been incredible, becoming the top goal scorer in Canadian national team history. It's had a fantastic year for Canada, but right now his club form is a little questionable. He's only got 6 goals in the league. He's basically fallen out of favor with the new manager. He wants this move, so he needs to make this next move count. I know realistically Lille is a very good position for him. It's a good club, competitive league. He will get minutes. He will score goals. He will be in shape for the upcoming World Cup. That's the way I look at it. I'd love to see it happen, but let me know, guys, down below what you guys think. What club out of those 5 do you think best fits Cyle Larin? What club did I not mention that you think that he should potentially go to? I definitely want to hear what you guys say, but so let me know down in the comments below, and we'll have to keep an eye on a very couple interesting months for Cyle Larin leading forward. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode, and if you did, as always, be sure to drop a like, drop a sub as well, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers, friends.